morning, everyone. Passion leads me here today, and I'm really happy to be here with you today. It's the first session of the day, so I think that everyone is fresh, and it's good. My name is Priscilla Koukoui. I'm the founder of OV Square and the Chief XR Officer at Backlight. To make this session a bit more interactive, I will ask you questions during the session. And just by raise of hand, how many of you, I will start with a really simple question, just for you to understand. How many of you have heard of Hungry Jack's? Yes, great. And how many of you know that Hungry Jack's is also called Burger King in other locations in the world? Yeah, okay, all right. So you will understand the relation between Backlight, a multi-awarded European-based XR studio, and OV Square, based in Sydney. Both are creative agencies working for B2B, creating emotion and creating virtual reality experiences, mainly for entertainment and for brand development. The highlight and our specialty are storytelling, but also interactive and really immersive virtual reality experiences, and also multiplayer collaboration. So today, I will walk you on a journey on the evolution of location-based virtual reality with a focus on Australia. We will go through the past of those experiences, what we have right now, the present, and we will have a look and imagine the future of what the future could hold. So first, let's start with definition. What does location-based entertainment, LBE, means? Like out-of-home entertainment, location-based entertainment regroup all the experience someone can have outside of home. So, by raise of hand, how many of you like to cook? Cooking? Yeah, great. How many of you eat at home? Great. And how many of you like to go to the restaurant? Yes, great. So you can see, even if we can have some experiences at home, like having a movie, we also sometimes enjoy going to the cinema because, like going to a restaurant compared to eating home, it adds some flavors, we have some extra services. The same way, in virtual reality, we can have a headset and have a Steam account and play at home, or we can decide to go outside and play virtual reality, have different kind of experiences. Location-based entertainment, by extension, location-based virtual reality are all the virtual reality experience that one can have outside of home, in the comfort of their own home. Each regroup kind of wide experiences, so it starts with the obvious, which are the VR arcade or the VR game center. But it can also be an escape game or a bowling alley, a cinema, a theme park, a casino. And I added to the definition everything related with retailtainment, which is entertainment for the retail industry, and the out-of-home advertising. So it's kind of a broad spectrum. So what did we have in the past? The story I will give you today won't start in the 60s. It will start after the years 2000, when VR has been rediscovered as a way to immerse people in different experiences. Just by raise of hand, how many of you remember having a virtual reality on their mobile phone, like for example the 3D African mask? And what about the ride over Paris? Okay, all right, a few of us. At that time, at the start of what we call the location-based virtual reality, those kind of experiences were only available in special places, like in pop-up, for a few weeks. So we had, sorry, the slide. For example, two main experiences here in Sydney. One was at the Australian Museum. In fact, it was a set of two different experiences created by David Attenborough. One was a 360 video experiences on the Great Barrier Reef to show the incredible diversity of the natural earth resource under the waves here in Australia. The second video showed at the Australian Museum was a short movie, computer-generated movies on the first life on Earth. It was really successful. More than 20,000 people decided to visit, and the experience that show was extended twice. The same way, for the release of one of her latest album, Björk decided to provide experiential VR in Carriage Works in Sydney as well. I remember really vividly that I went in a room, one of the 5 rooms set up, and I was inside her mouth. So I could see her tongue, and I could see her teeth, and it was something a bit special. And I don't know why I remember that, but I also remember that room smelled really vividly strawberries. Then we have the arcade. At the beginning of the arcade, what we have to say is that most of the experience we have on arcade right now are also available at home. So if you have a headset, you can experience those experiences at home. And at the beginning, especially, the experience we could have in arcade were one-person experiences. And they were really focused on high octane and provoking high adrenaline to the gamer or anyone who wanted to try it. People really wanted to experience, to have high sensation. And Richie's plank, developed by Toast here in Brisbane, was a really hard racing experience. Basically, you go inside an elevator, up in the building, you have to walk in a plank, looking at the city on your feet, and jump. Who has done this experience? Yeah. It's in this context that Birdy Kingland, developed by Backlight, has been created. Birdy Kingland was first a prototype developed in-house 4 years ago, in 2014, by Backlight on the DK1. If you remember. At that time, VR was really a buzzword. Everyone wanted to try to be different, offering a different experience. And we didn't have any a controller, so the best way for people to feel was to create a roller coaster-like kind of experiences. And for that reason, Backlight chose to develop a roller coaster, but also to have their experiences, or our experiences, in animation and in artistic direction to give it a bit of a different feel. And it was a success. And to be frank, even right now, 4 years after the creation of Birdy, we are still distributing these rights. Most of the time, we distribute it on the D-Box motion device. Yeah. So we have first developed a Birdy on Unity 4, and because of its success, we chose to develop it in Unity 5. This Birdy Kingland is an experience for a large audience, and it's a story of a guy running after his stolen burger. And I will just show you an extract of the trailer so you will understand a bit better. Yep, stolen burger. So what do we have now? What kind of experience can we have? I will sort out in two different categories. We have the VR linear, which are passive experiences, like the one you've seen just before, Birdy Kingland. You're seated in your chair and you just go with the flow. And we have the interactive VR. So as I've just said, the linear VR could have really interesting stories as well, but they are seated. You could be in a pod, in an egg pod, in a mall, for example, in Chatswood, or you could be here in Sydney, you have a 360 cinema-like, in Melbourne, in an art gallery. You're just in a contemplation mode. It's like a movie. You just watch. There's no interaction, no action between you and the movie. And Far Reach is another example of a production created by Backlight, highly contemplative and poetic. It's a travel in space. And I will show you a trailer, a really quick one. Yeah. And then we have the interactive VR, and I think that it's where location-based virtual reality is going. So in interactive VR, you decide to act or not. You are the hero of your own adventure. Now the player is also what we call a spect-actor. So you are not only a spectator, you're a spect-actor, you're acting on it. And I will give you two examples on that kind of interaction. The first one is Beat Saber. Who has played Beat Saber already? Yeah, most of us. It has been developed by Hyperbolic, so it's a mix-up between Guitar Hero and Star Wars Lightsaber when we slash blocks of music block. So you can really understand the interaction. And the same way, Backlight has developed an experience called Pit Stop. So it's a gamification for an automotive brand. And that experience has been presented all along the Formula One Grand Prix. It's a 4-player experience, highly interactive, where we need as quickly as possible change the tire inside the pit stop. I will just show you an extract.
Limit.
Yes, well done. We just gained some time. Yes!
So as you can see, we went from really experimental virtual reality to real storytelling and real experience in virtual reality. There's 4 main systems in what I will call an active virtual reality experience, and I will go a bit deeper in that different 4 systems. The first one is a pod. So the pod is a flexible, simple, and the most compact virtual reality solution you can have. So you have one user in maybe 6 to 12 square meters with one headset playing one game. So usually they are limited on the number of steps they can have. They are limited by the length of the wire, basically. And because it's easy to set up, I mean easy, because it's the easiest solution, that kind of solution has been growing in cities around Australia, in Sydney, in Melbourne, in Brisbane, and in Gold Coast. Then we have the pod multiplayers. So it's basically the same setup in an arcade, except that all the people in the different pod can play together or against each other. Here in Australia, I found a company who had until, or said to be, they are not fully operational yet, up to 12 players at the same time. They are called VR Arena. It's also possible to experience cooperation in virtual reality. And there's a great company in Melbourne called the Virtual Reality Room who can sit up to 40 people at the same time. They are not in the same experience, but they can have up to 40 clients at the same time in their location. And it worth mention the cross-reality games. A few arcades offer as well not to have every players in the virtual reality experience, but to have some people in virtual reality and some other outside, and they either collaborate or just work together with different information. Who has already played cross-reality games? Yeah. Then we have the free roam, warehouse scale. So free roam is a complete, in free roam we have a complete freedom in movement, complete mobility in 360 degree. Usually we are wireless, so we have backpacks and controllers or trackers to move inside the experience. The first location available in Australia was available in 2015. It was zero latency. They offer a system and now we have a few other locations who offer also free roam warehouse scales here in Australia. I will speak maybe just really briefly on one of them, which are Ventus, because they are the first offering also PvP experience, player versus players. So you can go up to 8 players at the same time in that experience, and 2 teams divided in team of 4 people, and we play kill or being killed, basically. It's a great way to do it, but there's even another system called Froom. So Froom is a word invented by Backlight. It's a contraction of free roam and room scale. So in the Froom system, we have all the advantage of the free roam, so complete mobility, no motion sickness, but also the advantage of a room size kind of experience. It means that for cities with high density population, for example, we don't need to have a warehouse like zero latency of 400 square meters. We can play in 30 square meters. This kind of system is really easier to set up and is also cheaper. So cheaper on equipment, cheaper on the setup, and cheaper on the surface needed to operate. Not only that, but for example, the picture you can see right now of using a From system is a virtual reality, is an escape game in virtual reality called Eclipse. And we added hyper reality element to completely transform the experience of location base. So it's on a small surface, but in that experience you also have a full body awareness in real time, meaning that if you decide to dance with that in real life, you see yourself dancing in your virtual reality experience as well. This game is also played on vibrating floors, so it adds vibration to the experience, and then we have olfactory device and heat to immerse you even deeper inside the experience. As I told you, Eclipse is an escape game, so it's a puzzle game. There's no violence, no killing. It's a multiplayer game, up to 4 players. It's a mission in space. The synopsis is that you go in space to visit a previous spaceship, something happened to a mission, and you want to understand what happened at that time in this location. I will show you the trailer of Eclipse. So as it is an escape game in virtual reality, you're 40 to 45 minutes in games. There's a few other experiences outside of Australia worth mentioning. One of them is called The Void, and it's the Secrets of the Empire. It's a 10 minutes free roam experience. And another concept interesting in the US from 2-Bit Circus is a barcade. So it's a bar and an arcade, a barcade. What needs to really be understood is that in location-based virtual reality, what is really important is the quality of the content. Because if the quality is not good enough, the general public will be deterred to try experience in the future. And now let's have a look at the future. So traditional entertainment or new entertainment have the same purpose. To be delight, to please, to make us dream, basically. But at the same time, we are social animals. So in the future, I can see much more social experiences in location-based virtual reality. I can imagine much more multiplayer games, much more interaction are needed. I think that virtual reality is often seen as a single-person experience, and this idea should change. Virtual reality is made for us to connect with each other as well. Personalization, I think, will be strong in the future as well. People want to choose their character, they want to choose their avatar, they want to be able to be as different in virtual reality as they can be in real life. Also, I spoke about active VR, but I can imagine that not only the future of virtual reality will be active, but it will be hyperactive. I guess that we will have athletics experiences, like really sport and physical experience, and also e-sport in VR will surely come soon enough. We will have more and more interactivities in virtual reality. People want to connect first, general public of all ages. As soon as they're in virtual reality, they want to touch, they want to break, they want to just do something with that new environment. And it will be also connected with a new sensation, so we will have more smell, more immersive, that touch all our senses. To drive the general public, we can really already see that big IP, so big brands, so like Toy Story in VR or maybe Titanic in VR, will bring the audience to virtual reality. And we can also imagine, because we want to drive those audience to have different themes, to have much more diversity in the theme. So not only science fiction, but also Western in VR or love story in VR, that kind. I will show you just a quick video. It's in black and white, there's no sound, and for a reason. This movie is called Worker Exiting the Factory, and it was the first projecting movie. It's from 1895. It has been made by the Lumiere brothers. So it's a past of the cinema. And when we discuss the past of virtual reality, when I told you about the mouth of Björk or the experience at the Australian Museum, it was in 2016. So what we have to understand is that the past is really close from where we are right now. Location-based virtual reality is really at an infant stage of development. By raise of hand, how many of you have a headset home? Yeah. And how many of you have tried an experience outside of home? Yeah. What we said is that location-based virtual reality is maybe the bridge, or is a bridge that will make virtual reality accessible to the masses. The reason why is that people can try immersive experiences, and good one, without the need of buying expensive equipment or having any technical knowledge. And they don't need to have a space either, or they don't need to have a space for the experience or a space to play with their friend at home. They can just go outside of home and experience great quality of content. And the quality of that content will definitely encourage the adoption outside of home, and maybe in a few years, 3 to 5 years, inside home. Yeah, that's it for me for today. My name is Priscilla Koukoui. If you can say oui, you can say Koukoui. Just for you to know, all the videos that I've shown you during this presentation are available here in Australia. If you want to have any information or have any question, or if you have your own ideas, please, we are showcasing some of this experience or others just in the showcase demo room. Don't hesitate to just come. If you have any question on Backlight or on OV Square, please come to me or to us. Or if you are just as excited as I am about the future in location-based VR, come and just have a chat. Please, yeah. You can add me on social media, on LinkedIn as well. Yeah.